It is a lot about real estate. We in the office were preparing for 2 closings that are going to be taking place January 2nd. So why now? Well, we needed to get it coordinated in January. 1 is a holiday, so today's the Friday before the Tuesday. All things closing today. I decided as a result of this to also write a blog post. I'm going to use that as, I'm going to post it on my own website blog, frankbrunolaw.com. I'm also going to use that as a resource or a piece of information to present to prospective clients and maybe further refine that to provide to existing clients as they're going through that process. What is there to know? There's the, let's go beginning to end chronologically. You can go from the perspective of a buyer or a seller. A prospective buyer will, prior to getting an attorney, typically prior to even being involved in a transaction, they'll look at homes. They may secure the services of a realtor. They may make offers. Once there's an accepted offer, I want to pay $1 million for this house and maybe it's worth $3 million. Buyer makes an offer, seller accepts. The seller is then responsible to obtain a lawyer, prepare a contract of sale. Contract of sale is sent to the attorney for the buyer, and the buyer and attorney will review the contract of sale, execute the contract of sale. They'll return it with a deposit to the seller and the seller's attorney. Once the contract is consummated, several things take place. What are those things? Well, the buyer has to obtain a mortgage. Typically, if they had cash in the bank, they could buy without a mortgage. House prices are kind of high. Many people, unless they sold a property, many people have to rely on a bank to provide some portion of the financing for the transaction. Besides the mortgage, they have to search the title. That's the role of the buyer's attorney. Take a look at the title, make sure that there's a clear title and that they get the benefit of their bargain. If you look at it from the other side, the seller's attorney's obligation is to provide clear title. They receive the very same title report and they work on issues from that end. Let's say there's a clear title. Seller will have to pay off any liens, cure any violations, pay off any existing mortgages. That takes place at the closing. Seller's attorney prepares transfer documents and a deed. The closing big picture is buyer gives the seller money. Seller provides to the buyer deed and keys. Deal done. So I found it quick, wonderful. The end, more can take place. More does happen. We can help shepherd you through the process, whether you're a buyer or a seller. And often enough, when you do trusts, the largest asset of many families is the home that they own. In order to avoid probate, safeguard that asset, provide some ease for your family members upon your passing. Often enough, the deed, the home ownership will be transferred into a trust. It's a topic for another day.